And here is our tail of the tape between the two. An 88% win rate for Hitman. 12% win rate for INSUP. I updated this morning as well, so this is up to date. Hitman with an 83% win rate against Undead. INSUP with a 46% win rate against ORC. So the stats do not tell a good tale for INSUP, but the tale is to be told as he 2-0'd Soen. He played very well. Who cares about the stats? Doesn't matter. Concealed Hill is going to be the first map. This will be best of 5. The winner gets $100 and 10 EPT points. Loser gets 5 EPT points. Wow. I wish I had 5 EPT points.
Yeah, I have 0. So I don't even know what that's like. What's the, what do you do with 5 EPT points?
Actually, I might literally have 5 EPT points because I played at Anaheim and got like 16th or something. So I might have 5. I might just have 5.
Nice.
Yeah.
You get to buy anything nice with those points?
I don't think I get anything. I think people just shit on me for having 5 EPT points. Okay, we're jumping into game 1 at the ESL Open Cup Americas number 86. As I said, Concealed Hill. As I said, best of 5. Hitman vs. INSUP. We're loading in. Dun 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 dun. Warcraft used to be so much shorter of a load time. Here we go into Concealed Hill. Here's INSUP in the upper right from Canadianaland, my home country. In the bottom left from the US of A, here's Mr. Hitman.
The battle in North America has begun. Who's going to take the money and those ever so valuable points?
Gotta get those points.
Had more of.
Yeah, I wish I at least had like 10. Oh, also thank you to Alpine Iron for the 9 months. Apparently I like this place, he says. JK. Good job, boys. Keep up the great work. Appreciate you, Alpine Iron. Thank you. Okay, so it seems like a Blademaster opener from Hitman, and for INSUP it seems to be standard Ted Fiends yet again. Probably won't see anything too crazy from INSUP. Maybe he'll try Criplord once. It's a best of 5, a long series. You can try things out. But I would expect to see INSUP stick to mostly one strategy.
Yeah, and last time we did see Hitman go for the Blademaster was just so good at chopping down statues with it, always in the backline presence of the undead army, able to slice down fiends, destroy statues. Blademaster's so potent in this matchup, if played well.
And knowing Hitman, it most likely will be played well, but we will see. He's been playing a lot of Farseer recently, and this probably won't be the only strat Hitman plays throughout the series. He'll probably go to Farseer eventually, but also, with that in mind, he has just played straight up Blademaster all 3 games against INSUP in a best of 5 in the past, but that can always be countered if INSUP decides, okay, I'm going to go Criplord this game. What are you going to do? So that's a possibility, but for now, INSUP's going to be sad to realize he chose the wrong hero at the beginning.
Yeah, although he does love his DK Lich, it's going to be a tough game against the Blademaster of Hitman, as he is now online, looking to take down this Ogre Warrior, take the item, and get on moving.
Yeah, the Acolyte will be there. The Skeletons will be here as well to assist in the creeping for Hitman. Did he go crit first? No, he went Windwalk first, but he's still going to be looking to most likely creep probably to level 2. First of all, Hitman tends to change his creep revs up quite a bit, so we'll see what his secondary camp is. For INSUP, most likely going to look to get this camp and then maybe the Turtles afterwards.
Got the Gloves of Haste. Pretty good item for the Blademaster. Gonna like that. It's gonna scale well into the mid-game.
INSUP gets the same. Not too bad. Those are nice for the Lich as well. Later on, the Acolyte escapes with 5 HP. I guess INSUP's doing this. 120 does this a lot as well as Happy. Just uses the Acolyte to creep. Because the build order allows you to build 1 Acolyte. You have the gold and you don't delay your tech for it. You have the supply. So just use it to creep. Whatever. Use it to kill the critter. Doesn't even scout with it. And Circlet purchase for Hitman, who goes to get closer to level 3 from the shop now.
Yeah, I mean, why not? The Acolyte does decent damage. That's quite a bit of health pool as well. You can always bring it back to the Blight, exchange it with a full health Acolyte if this starts falling a little too low.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen people do that before, like switch out their workers. Similar to what an undead would do with ghouls sometimes. That's kind of a cool idea. Why not do it, INSUP? Let's see it.
Yeah, cutting-edge strats coming from the casting
A
booth.
player's forces are
Beautiful,
under
beautiful.
attack.
Wards available for Hitman. Those are nice, nice items to have at this stage in the game. He's going to use one in the main base. Insup's going to see there's only one ward available, so he's going to be guessing where that first one went. But nice little block on the Spider Crab Limb Ripper. Wow, that's quite the mouthful. Didn't know that was its name. The coil could seal the deal. If he doesn't coil, the blade's going to get this. Oh, he does get it anyway. Wow.
Nice steal there from Hitman. Always on point. You have to always be careful. Hitman is always lurking in the shadows. And Insup needs to be a little quicker next time to secure those creep kills.
Yeah, it's a good thing Hitman killed that crab, too, because or else it maybe would have ripped Insup's limbs, apparently. That's what it's named after. As the blade tries to get level 3, this might be just enough for level 3 if you can get all these creeps.
The crab really overcompensating with the terrifying name. Not so scary at level 3, though.
True. True. Yeah, that definitely is an overcompensation. I've never seen one. Okay, both players looking for level 3. The Blade Master, one last hit on most creeps on the map will give him the level 3, and that's going to be quite a big experience advantage, actually.
Hitman, as always, following you around all early game long. And then soon enough, the Shadow Hunter usually comes out with the Grunt Army and will get to level 3 himself in the southern part of the map.
A player's
Nice
forces
little block
are
on the
under
skeleton, denying the damage, and the grunts just go right to where Insup wanted to go. I'm just going to steal away that camp. There's the level 3. And the Blade Master is in a position now in which he could actually cancel the Slaughterhouse if he wants to, because it's not yet been built, and Hitman knows the timing of that, so that's a possibility with the level 3 Blade, but for now he's just going to deny this creeping from Insup. Insup's going to really struggle to get level 2 Death Coil.
Yeah, with Hitman following you around, has plenty of mana to follow you for the next couple minutes here, as the Shadow Hunter is going to have free reign of looks like the western side of the map for now. It'll be so difficult to deal with this. And now, like you said, a nice cancel on that Slaughterhouse potentially.
Yeah, and even if he doesn't get it, he still forces Insup back, and like, what does Insup go to creep after this? He's trying to go down to maybe pull, yeah, he's looking to pull the Ogre from the middle, but doubt this is going to be possible. Wait, the Lich is just no man's land. Okay, maybe he's not doing that, but yeah, Insup is just so, he's questioning what he's able to do right now, and I would be too. Look at this blade, as you mentioned, the mana, still 300 mana.
Yeah, this Blade Master could follow you around for the whole rest of this mid-game here. Shadow Hunter, plenty of breathing room over at the laboratory. He's going to get up to level 2 and move on along to the next camp. Meanwhile, Insup's going to do all the hard work, and Hitman's going to try and steal all the rewards.
Yeah, no way Insup lands this block, the entire hit point pool of this Ogre Lord. And even if he did, Hitman's right here. And the Shadow Hunter, so confident, not even coming to Creepjack. He knows the blade's going to do all the work for him. Okay, Coil Nova, and he actually gets the Cloak of Flames. Okay, maybe I was completely wrong, but Windwalk, the Fiend might die. Yeah, it costs him the Fiend, which I don't know if that's entirely worth it.
Yeah, I mean, silver lining, better than losing both, because you certainly could have.
True, yeah.
So Insup getting out with minimal damage, but still,
forces are under attack.
Blade Master looking very strong early game here. Shadow Hunter continuing to creep up and getting closer and closer to level 3.
This is just absolutely ridiculous from Hitman. He's just soloing him with a Blade Master, and we just saw Soen try this on Amazonia. Looked like a much different game. Hitman is doing all the work with just a blade. Look how much trouble this has been causing Insup. Still, right now. Oh my god. He gets the greater heal. Okay, Nova, Coil, can Insup return? Not within the threshold, and he salves and runs away. Unbelievable Blade Master play from Hitman. Shadow Hunter almost level 3.
Yeah, and we saw this all last week from Hitman. I believe I casted 3 or 4 of his games, and he's just so good at this. Chasing you around with this Blade Master, you do all the work, he takes all the XP, all the items, and his Shadow Hunter has all the breathing room in the world to get up to level 3 himself. How do you defend against that?
Yeah, we're almost 9 minutes into the game. The Death Knight is not level 3 yet. This is ridiculous. This is, against a player of Insup's caliber, this is unheard of. It's totally crazy. The orb is out, and the Death Knight's struggling to get level 3. Can he even get it from this camp? Okay, the Blade Master's going to give some breathing room, and he will get level 3, but the Shadow Hunter already is. The Kodo is out. Increased battle drums on the way. The TC as well is out. Is there an orb? Yeah, the blade already got the orb. So now INSUP might be ready to fight,
Are under attack.
but it's 39 against 40 supply, and there's already Tri-Hero now for both players.
Yeah, and Hitman does need to be careful of really powerful nuke capabilities from INSUP. He's so good at it. And if that Blade Master gets a little too greedy, could be the end of Blade Master for the time being.
Speed scroll away. This is some classic Blade Master play. All you're supposed to do, and this is Hitman's words, is just run away and try to creep. As long as you can delay the fight, it's better for the Orc. If you're allowed to creep and the Undead is trying to chase you around and find fights and you don't give them to him, the Orc is going to be favored. So that's what Hitman's looking to do. He's just going to go to the next fountain.
Like the Red Drake, hopefully going to go to INSUP so he can get something here. Hitman's been stealing a lot of these creep items. Only a couple of units able to attack this. No web yet for INSUP. Is going to get Legion Horn.
Yeah, that's a nice item for INSUP. He needed something like that. A nice aura. And Hitman.
Lion Horn. Not the Legion. Lion Horn.
Lion Horn, yeah. And Hitman is going to get something as well. Belt, that's terrible. He did already get a Pendant of Energy earlier, though, from his expansion. So they're both getting some decent items. And the map is almost crept out. I'm forgetting what was available at INSUP's shop, but INSUP has a couple of creeps left over. Hitman just a green available. So now, is this the time they fight?
Really beefy Tauren Chieftain behind this. 1,025 health, plus 20 attack damage, or at least did have plus 20. And then plus 9. Like you might see a creep jack here from Hitman.
Yeah, high ground advantage for INSUP, though. No silence landing because he doesn't have it yet. Hex, one Fiend, but Devour, almost a coil landing. At least it wasn't a miss coil, I don't think. Dust to try to focus down the blade. Just beautiful play from Hitman, I gotta say. Like, he comes in, kills one Fiend, forces the Dust, forces the Destroyer pop, and just runs away without losing anything. Just incredibly done.
And needs to be careful here with the blade. No Novas left, but a couple coils, so may be safe for the time being. Instead, INSUP going to be a little defensive with the coils. One Destroyer does fall. Hitman now making his way into the back line of INSUP. Needs to be careful as these Fiends are falling one by one.
Oh
courtesy
my
of the
God.
auto attacks of the Blade Master.
This is absolutely ridiculous play from Hitman. He's might start to lose something now. Can INSUP turn around? Maybe a Grunt gonna go down, speed scroll away. He'll wait to save the Grunt. This is outrageous from Hitman. He's played this game crazily good. What the hell? And now, I think he's lost, what, one unit in this fight. He's Blade in the back, is starting to get some kills, has the potion of invulnerability. Wind walks away perfectly in time. This is ridiculous from Hitman. This whole game has just been ridiculous.
It has to be so frustrating for INSUP, who has the food count. You would think, having the food count, you have the game. But Hitman capable of doing so much with so little, as we've seen time and time again. Blade Master not even afraid. 230 health right in the face of INSUP, potentially going to steal a Fiend, but instead going to run into the main base and see what's going on.
Yeah, he's got Dust of Appearance, he's got a Wind Walk, he's got a Potion of Vulnerability. He's just going to wait for reinforcements while passively creeping with the army, and he's probably going to get a statue here, because that's all he could do right now. We'll see if he gets a Purge. He's got one more opportunity. Actually doesn't get it. Lucky for INSUP, and nice awareness to only give that blade two attempts at the Purge.
Could have been the end of that statue. INSUP looking like he's ready to take a fight, has the food advantage, feels like this could be the time to get some sort of momentum going in this game. Hitman playing so well as the battle has begun.
Yep, two Destroyers up in the air. The first one goes down. The Walker is here, but nice Nova. A couple of Berserkers going down. Okay, INSUP finding his stride. Could even find that Kodo and that Spirit Walker. Yeah, INSUP, this is a really good fight from him so far. 3 Berserkers have gone down. And INSUP continues to press forward. He's still got a coil and almost a Nova. But now Hitman level 4, level 3. As the Tauren Chief and the Shadowhunter level up. The Destroyer a little bit out of position. A Fiend has been devoured by the Kodo. Maybe this is where INSUP has to get out of here.
A lot of congestion in the middle here. Death Knight finally breaking free, moving on to the back line of Hitman. Reveal has been popped. People can see the Blade Master even though he's hidden. INSUP going to chase him back to the fountain, but not yet. Does not want to push any further.
Yeah, I think iNSUP is happy just to be able to run away without any losses. He got some kills, he ran out of mana, and now Hitman is allowing him to get away. This is perfect for iNSUP here. If he doesn't lose anything else, can get into the back of his base. Is he transitioning to Banshees? Not yet. Apparently not at all. But yeah, that was a really nice fight for iNSUP. Exactly what he needed there.
Both players spending all of the resources they have. I don't think I've seen them pass past 400 gold this game. Squeezing out every little bit of economy they can. Hitman not breaking upkeep yet, but might be time to as iNSUP pressing forward.
Claws plus 9 from that camp. Those could be passed over to the Blade eventually. Destroyers were chain morphed. One walker goes down. It wasn't that useful anyway. The Kodo, definitely more useful, is probably going to be falling. Is there a speed scroll for Hitman? There isn't, so he's going to have to run away. And the Blade Master taking a lot of damage. All of a sudden, iNSUP with a 10 supply advantage and a ton of map control as the map is crept out almost except for the one remaining creep camp at the top left and the small green at the bottom right, which Hitman might just go, you know, take his losses and just go for that green camp, I suppose. That's really all he can do right now.
Yeah, reveal pop, preventing Hitman from stealing any more creeps. Level 4 granted to the Death Knight, and now closing the gap. iNSUP looking like finally getting the momentum he's been looking for all game. Starting to look like a very scary opponent now, where Hitman seemingly had the lead all early game.
Yeah, Hitman maybe getting a little bit too confident at those past couple of fights. He lost a bunch. He maybe didn't have the speed scrolls he needed, maybe not the mana he needed, the potion of vulnerability, maybe a heal scroll. He needed a few things before continuing to be aggressive. So it looked a little bit like an overconfident Hitman for a second there, and now iNSUP is actually pulling ahead. The hero level's slightly favoring Hitman, but the supply is a 11 supply advantage for iNSUP. But he's got to use it for something. He cannot be above upkeep and not do anything with it, especially when the map is crept out entirely. He's got to take a fight.
Yeah, Shadowhunter purchasing Scroll of Healing.
Players' forces are under attack.
Getting all of the last items. Blade Master potentially going to reveal himself again. iNSUP marching down Concealed Hill, looking to take a fight at 60 food. Blade Master showing himself, getting some auto attacks onto the statues. Wind walks immediately and is going to back off for the time being.
iNSUP holding the high ground. He doesn't want to Congo line his units because he knows the Blade's going to be right there to kill both statues if he gives that opportunity. iNSUP just going to back away. A little bit afraid, and in the meantime, Hitman is banking below upkeep despite the past two fights. He has the confidence, knowing iNSUP has broken upkeep, he can count in the air 2 destroyers. He knows iNSUP is at least above 50 supply here, so the more time spent below upkeep, the more of an advantage he's going to have.
And almost able to secure the statue kill. Hitman has his eyes fixated on it, really wants it. Popping the preemptive dust, bought another one ready to reveal Blade Master, but was outside of the range. Hitman knew that. Stayed just outside of the range and might try to jump in for more auto attacks on the statues, but for the time being, just gonna observe and prepare for the next fight.
The ball's on Hitman. He's below 50. He's just tiny great hauling. He says, whatever, I'm not breaking upkeep. You have. I know you're about to all in me. I'm just going to tiny great haul. You have to all in now. This is going to be the final fight of the game as iNSUP moves down. Either he breaks this tiny, which he very well could with this supply advantage, or Hitman holds and Hitman wins.
And sending down the scout to confirm if the expo was built. Not quite going to be able to see it, but maybe can make some assumptions seeing that the army of Hitman is camping here.
Hitman breaks upkeep as soon as the tiny is saturated. The shop is going to play a crucial role in the defense of this expansion. The Blade Master use of Hitman this game has been completely ridiculous. It's just been in the perfect position at every stage in the game with the perfect amount of mana, the perfect items. And he has yet to lose it for being so aggressive with it as well. And here is the fight. 68 against 59. The Destroyer's chain morph. iNSUP with good items. Hitman with slightly maybe better items. But we'll see who wins the fight.
They retreating back into the middle. Torn Chieftain, a nice war stomp on the Fiend line of iNSUP. Orbs of Lightning going all over the Destroyer line. And one Destroyer falls, 2 Destroyers falls. As the Blade Master now going to work on the Crypt Fiends.
Yeah, the positioning was not really as good as INSUP wanted it. It wasn't as though he was all in with this position. Silence, Coil Nova, Heal Scroll used to counter it. The Shadowhunter pushed him invulnerability, passed over the confidence. The Shadowhunter just stood there, taking the damage, and Hitman seems to be taking game one. The stomp is big. The Hex immediately devoured into the potion of invulnerability. Ridiculous plays from INSUP, but where are the units to supplement the micro? There's only 3 Fiends left over.
Yeah, now the army of Hitman starting to overtake this, although INSUP has the micro, not quite enough. And big plays from both players here, as now Hitman looking like he's gaining all the ground he needs to claim victory.
Yeah, only a few Fiends left over. There's 2 coils left. Yes, Dakota will go down as a full HP Fiend, but soon enough, one of these heroes are going to die. The crit for 231. The coil is there. Incredibly well timed from INSUP, but he's only got 1 more of those, and then he's either going to have to Town Portal or tap out. GG will be called, and that was a insane game 1 from Hitman. Ridiculous.
Unbelievable. And, I mean, the game did swing back and forth a few times throughout that. And that final battle, I mean, INSUP with mega plays.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
still wasn't enough. I mean, geez, you would think pulling off plays of that caliber would win you the game, but playing someone like Hitman, you need to bring even more than that to the table.
Yeah, I think you bring up a great point. The fact that INSUP's even in there until, like, whatever the 20-minute mark after Hitman played as well as he did that game is crazy. And INSUP with some really nice micro at the end. He was close to closing that out. He had the supply advantage, but just not the best positioning in that last fight at the expansion. And Hitman was forcing the all in there with the Tiny Great Hall. But just the confidence from Hitman through the entire game with the Blade Master dodging the silences, the Tiny Great Hall below 50 supply. Totally crazy. Creeping in INSUP's face, even at the top left expansion, just creeping the Null Overseer right in INSUP's face. Time and time again, the confidence is outrageous for Hitman. So he's going to take the lead, but not without adversity. I think INSUP could definitely tie it up here in map 2.
Yeah, if INSUP just cleans up a little bit and finds a better way to deal with the constant harassment of the Blade Master in his face while creeping and could secure some of those creep kills, the game could definitely flip on its head and the momentum could swing in INSUP's favor at any point.
Yeah, Tiderunners will be map 2. A very good Farseer map. Probably the Farseer map nowadays, especially against Undead. So I would be surprised to see Blade again, but Hitman, with the confidence he's playing at, might just be saying, you're not going Crypt Lord against me. You're not doing it. You're too afraid of the Farseer. So he's probably going to, maybe stick to Blade to show, to just prove his point, I suppose. But if he's going to go Farseer, it would be right here.
Yeah, I could see the Crypt Lord on this map. Definitely a candidate for Fast Expo from INSUP, if that's what he wants to do.
Sure.
And not sure what our players will do in Game 2 after just a nail-biter of Game 1. Really looking forward to the rest of the series.
Yeah, a lot of fights between these two. INSUP as aggressive as ever, and Hitman just trying to avoid. Like, that was just... Can't say it enough. That was crazy play from Hitman. That was exactly... Because maybe not perfect Blade Master play, but from what Hitman has told me about how you're supposed to play Blade Master, his philosophy of the game... He played perfectly to his own philosophy, perfectly to the strengths that he thinks the Blade has against Undead. Crazily well done, but map 2 may tell a different story. Here we go to Tidehunters. Here's INSUP in the upper left. In the bottom right, here is Hitman. We'll keep an eye on the next peon to come out and see where it goes and see what the strategy will be. Is the OCdrummer equal they call me OC? You want to answer that one?
Not quite. I am not nearly as good at Night Elf. Nor am I any good at Night Elf, so do not want to bucket us in the same boat. That would be disrespectful to they call me OC.
Okay, Farseer Headhunters for Hitman. He's going to go to it, and INSUP is going for Ted Fiends again. So he's not going to go for the Crypt Lord, and if he did go for the Crypt Lord, he'd be in for a rude awakening. So he's going to stick to the Death Knight, and Hitman is going to stick to the strengths of the map. Blade is good on Concealed Hill. Farseer is good on Tidehunters. Why not play both?
Yeah, and here we go. And we've seen Hitman be so effective with Farseer. He's not just a one-trick pony, even though he is so vicious with the Blade Master. Perfectly capable of winning this out with Farseer as well.
Here's the graveyard. Yep, so no surprises from INSUP. He definitely proved earlier against Soen, though, with that 2-0. He beat both the Blade Master and the Farseer of Soen, that he very much knows how to deal with the Headhunters. So we'll probably see the Dark Ranger second again. We'll probably see the Constant Fiend statue pressure with that Lich number 3. So INSUP has his work cut out for him, as we keep saying tonight, but he definitely knows what he's supposed to do here.
Yeah, absolutely. And luckily for INSUP, not going to have to deal with the constant Blade Master
Yeah, true.
presence at the creep camps, but might be dealing with a different type of presence in Farseer Headhunters, which is just so powerful in the early game.
Yeah, it's always a question I like to ask undead players. Would you rather play against Blade Master, or would you rather play against Farseer Headhunters? Because undead players, they used to hate Blade Master so much. You know, maybe not even a year ago, it was the most hated thing for undead players. Nowadays, some undeads really don't like Farseer Headhunters even more than Blade, so I like asking undeads. I'm not sure what INSUP would say. I'm really not sure.
I'd have to imagine anything is better than a Hitman level Blade Master in your face all game at the creep camps.
Yeah.
But it's not like Farseer Headhunters is a great alternative.
Pressure on the Death Knight. Oh my god, this could be a lot of damage. Okay, these skeletons. Oh my god, does he land that? Okay, he manages to fight his way out. If the Death Knight had squeezed to the bottom of that surround, that could have been a town portal force right away. Close to a surround. That's not something. That was some jujitsu level micro there from INSUP for a second, but Hitman does not fall. He kills the skeleton, gets out of there. No pressure, and the Death Knight is now the one being pressured. He's below 50% health already.
Yeah, real slick surround by INSUP there. So good and so deadly at these surrounds. Almost made Hitman pay the price of a town portal early on, but definitely going to summon some skeletons, look to get back into this battle, regain control of his portion of the map.
And he's got plenty of coils. That's going to deter Hitman from trying to creep anything too big when the Death Knight is lurking in the shadows, because of course a coil, no chain lightning, means that INSUP should get all the big last hits. A couple of skeletons, that's 12 experience a pop. Why not kill him if you can? And the pressure continues. INSUP, of course, would love to get level 2 to get that aura to start chasing the Headhunters, and Hitman is trying his best to deny that.
Now going to take quite a bit of damage here from the Wolves and Headhunters. Death Knight knows he needs to get out of this battle immediately. Doesn't want to fall too low. Doesn't really have any great items to get back healed up at the moment. That Ritual Dagger, not really as good as it should be.
Yeah, not really too enticing to go for that item, honestly. It's kind of underwhelming at times. And INSUP just going to stick on the Blight, and of course, if he could get that aura, that would help out as well, and he might be able to do just that as Hitman gives a little bit of space, but in giving the space, Hitman's taking some big contestable camps on the map.
Get those sentry wards, get some nice visibility onto the map, and Farseer moving his way on up to level 3. Death Knight finally secures the level 2 he's been looking for.
Alright, wards. That'll be nice. I mean, last game, Hitman had wards as well, and he used those to great effectiveness. INSUP is doing a little bit of evasion creeping. He's going to go around. I'm wondering what he's going to creep. Is it look like? Is he going to creep this Renegade Wizard? Okay, that's nice. It's difficult. Oh, he's going to do it with Lightning Shield. Interesting. Haven't seen this before, but it's going to make this creeping much easier. But Hitman, again, wasting no time, getting a Scroll the Beast from the marketplace.
Yeah, Hitman taking these big camps early on, securing these nice items. Gonna get level 3 here as well. And those level 2 wolves gonna be really helpful in this mid game.
Death Knight so close to level 3. Farseer already so lucky as to have that, and now is kind of the confusing part of the game. You already have level 3, your second hero isn't out yet. Do you just keep creeping, or do you run around like an idiot? This is most times where I run around like an idiot, but Hitman going to continue creeping, and INSUP is going to get his level 3 close to the base. I'm wondering if is he going to go into the base or just fall back, because soon there's a Shadowhunter out.
It looks like he maybe going to stop at the lab momentarily. Actually think about creeping this, and he is going to take the lab down.
This is almost going to be level 4 Farseer. And what are we, 6 minutes into the game? The power creeping from the Headhunters showing its effectiveness right here. This could be a Sobi Mask. Might be the best available item. Belt of Giant Strength. Tankiness, not the worst idea. And INSUP sort of lurking in the shadows. Has his own wards to do so. And I'm just wondering kind of what iNSUP's play is here. He's kind of in that weird downtime when his second hero is only now getting out, and he doesn't want to creep to level 4 because he would rather save those creeps for his Lich.
Lich finally out, able to get some of those nice Novas onto the backline headhunters of Hitman, but the deathlight falling quite low, able to secure a couple of these kills potentially. 2 of them do fall. CORSAIR now taking quite a bit of damage, but the Hex so impactful on the DK, preventing any offensive or defensive coils.
Pretty nice, yeah. Almost within Coil Nova range is both of these heroes, in fact. If a wave of Fiend Shots lands, he could try to slip in a Coil Nova, but probably more likely to be able to kill that Shadowhunter, so Hitman has to be aware of this and not overextend. So a 2-for-1 trade. Hard to say who that favors. Probably slightly Hitman, because there's always going to be less Fiends than there is Headhunters on the map. Tier 3 is even for both players.
Wasting no time, moving on up to Tier 3. Hitman going for the nice red camp. Wants to get that nice item, but he's going to back off, seeing iNSUP in his peripheral. To get into safety, another death coil. Seals the deal for yet another headhunter. This Hitman falls down to 35 food, but quickly is training, I believe, a hero, Torn Chieftain.
Yeah, Torn Chieftain, Kodo, and Ensnare on the way out, and iNSUP takes a slight advantage with that third Headhunter kill. And he's Tier 3 now. He did all this without a Dark Ranger second as well, so he has the luxury of getting a higher level Lich, which in the late game is going to be much stronger than a high level Dark Ranger. And then he can just get that Dark Ranger from the tavern pretty soon here. More importantly, though, he needs to go back and get his orb, which he's doing right now. And Hitman's going to struggle to get level 3 Shadowhunter if he can. He did snag the Potion of Invulnerability from the shop and kept that Scroll of the Beast from earlier, so maybe now with the Tier 3 Berserker kicking in, Torn Chieftain coming out, and the Kodo soon to be meeting up with the army, Hitman might be able to find a fight here.
Not before taking down this gargantuan sea turtle. Wants to get this nice item as well. iNSUP going to go clean up the camp Hitman started and get a mana stone for his efforts.
Excellent item. That's sometimes a game-winning item. Hitman gets a Potion of Greater Heal, also a really good item. The one thing that Hitman needs is consumables to keep his heroes alive. And both players hit their Tier 3 power spike. The question is, who's stronger? And I think the answer would be iNSUP currently.
Really tough to say until they actually meet. But
a player's forces
both
are under
armies look
attack.
incredibly strong at this point in the game, and iNSUP wants to take down this turtle camp as well. Claim a nice item for himself.
Yeah, anything would probably be good. Even a Scroll of the Beast would be nice. Greater Heal, that's decent. Maybe not the best, but still definitely acceptable. Hitman gets level 3 here from the lab and also gets a Robe of the Magi. And one ghoul being chased around a bit. Potion of Invulnerability, 28 seconds until it's off cooldown at that Goblin Merchant, and it's going to be important for both players to try to get that.
Yeah, and iNSUP closing in, looking to get a couple auto attacks on the CORSAIR. Get him into Coil Nova range.
Town is under siege.
CORSAIR not afraid, going to push forward and push iNSUP's army back. Hitman getting ready to take this battle.
Oh, the Raiders hugely out of position. That's a big mistake from Hitman. Coil will almost kill it, but he definitely wants to get an ensnare on one of these statues. Actually going to go for a Fiend. Decent stomp there, too. Scroll the Beast used as plus 14 on the Berserkers currently. That's a 51 maximum damage. What the hell? These are like Frostworms, each of them right now.
Yeah, pair that with Berserk on top. Extra attack speed. You're going to have a lot of damage incoming from Hitman as iNSUP needs to prepare for this battle. Devours the wolf.
Very smart back away there. That was nice. If he'd fought into that Scroll of the Beast, he was about to lose every single unit. So the back away there was crucial for iNSUP. Oh my god.
Almost saved by iNSUP. Not quite, though, as the single Fiend stomp proving effective. A nice deny from Hitman there as this Kodo Beast is hungry. He's looking to eat a Crypt Fiend.
The stomps have only been landing on single Fiends, but there's so much damage that even one Fiend getting stomped is more than enough for Hitman. as he trades very favorably, 46 against 50. Again, the macro on point like you pointed out last game, but the experience is going to be in Hitman's favor soon after this fight is over.
Chieftain in the backline, but unfortunately has no mana for stops and might also be victim to a surround if he's not careful. Lich fell immediately.
So much damage. Just ridiculous damage. The Berserkers are 3-0. The Kodo's increased. Like, he hexed the Death Knight and killed the Lich in 1 ensnare cooldown. 1 ensnare, and the Lich was dead. Just ridiculous from these 3-0 upgrade Berserkers.
Ensnare going to tie down that Destroyer as well and take care of it. So much damage going out onto these Crypt Fiends. Chain Lightning also following it, and the Headhunter's going to continue chipping away at the Fiends. One more falls and another on the way. Sword Chieftain in good position now, finally almost getting enough mana for a War Stop.
The trade's still in Hitman's favor, but maybe INSUP could catch a Orc player that overextends, perhaps. A couple of units are starting to get low. But INSUP has no coils left over, and GG will be called because the Lich is still dead. That's a swift 2-0 for Hitman. The damage on those Berserkers, man. My god, that was an early 3-0.
Yeah, that was quick work from Hitman, and INSUP's got to pull out all the stops now. He knows his back's against the wall, and if he wants to bring this to a Game 5, which really is where he's at now, he needs to 3-0 Hitman, and that's no easy task.
Yeah, that's going to be rough. I don't know if INSUP has ever even taken a map from this position. Most times when they have close series, similar to the sort of happy, foggy dynamic, INSUP starts off strong, and then he can either win the series or make it a very close series. Coming from a needing to reverse sweep position is a tall task, which not many people could do. Maybe if your name is Happy, maybe. But for INSUP, it's going to be tricky, man.
Yeah. INSUP's got to pull something out of his bag of tricks that Hitman's never seen before, because it seems like everything INSUP's throwing at Hitman, he has an answer for. So we'll see what INSUP has in store for our Game 3, and hopefully not our last game, but if things continue, it very well could be.
Yeah, Hitman's, I think, I said he was in a slump at the beginning of the day. I think he's out of that. I mean, he's playing good. He's playing real good today. Both players are. I mean, INSUP played incredible in the semifinal. He's continued to play really good and test Hitman, but Hitman just needs to be on another level today, man.
Yeah, he wants to take these ESL Cups back-to-back in true Hitman form. He wants to get back to his winning streak, prove his haters wrong, and move on into DreamHack and conquer that too. I know he's got his eyes on the cash.
Yeah, this will be a good... These couple of ESL Cups coming up will be a good sort of test for these players to sort of play. More people from their region getting prepared for DreamHack. As Northern Isles will be map 3. Again, a map which you could play Blademaster, Farseer, Death Knight, Cryptlord. Good for all the choices for both players. So the metagames are going to have to be on point. Does Hitman go back to the Blade? Does INSUP expect him to go back to the Blade and counter with a Cryptlord? These are all questions running through these players' heads right now. And they'll soon be answered, at least for us.
Yeah, and on Northern Isles, what do you expect to see here from, as far as hero composition?
I think probably INSUP will stick to the Death Knight. For Hitman, it's harder to tell because he's been so often has he switched up between Blademaster and Farseer, and he does this on purpose to confuse INSUP. Because if he only plays Farseer, INSUP knows I only have to play Death Knight. If he only plays Blademaster, INSUP knows I only need to play Cryptlord. So Hitman's been so back and forth with his hero choices, purposefully versus INSUP, that INSUP almost has to go Death Knight. Because if he goes Cryptlord into Farseer Headhunters, he kind of just auto-loses. So Hitman's definitely in INSUP's head, at least with the hero choices. Okay, here's Hitman. Upper right, INSUP bottom left, and INSUP, I guess, caster curse, man. Everything I say is just invalid. This is Altered Crypt. It still could be Death Knight Ghouls from INSUP, but this is the opener you'd go for if it was a Cryptlord.
And if I was INSUP, I might be thinking that as well. Gotta change things up. Gotta try something different because what's been happening hasn't been working. So try something different. Throw a wrench into the equation and see if you get a result you're looking for.
Yeah, definitely agreed. And Hitman actually going Blademaster, so if INSUP does go for the Cryptlord, he's going to be favored. This is why Orcs started going Farseer, because Farseer is better against Criplord, and Criplord is very good against Blade Master, so maybe INSUP finally got the upper hand in these mind games. We'll see. Let's see. Very soon. It is a Criplord. Well done to INSUP, winning the mind games at last against Hitman.
He's going to need every advantage he could get. It still won't be easy. Even if you have this minor advantage here, you still got to earn this win to prevent going 3-0'd and take this to game 4.
Yeah, for sure. Hitman was one of the players back in the day when Criplord was played 100% of the time. He would still go Blade Master against the Criplord, so he's well-versed in countering the Criplord with Blade, but he, like every other Orc, eventually switched to the Farseer Headhunters. So we'll see if he's still got it, and we'll see if INSUP still has his Criplord chops, because of course it's not too common these days either.
Blade Master out and about, ready to get started. Neither player, I believe, knows what the other is doing. No scouts set across the map. So both players going in blind to the early game here. Criplord looking to take the Tuskar camp first.
And interesting that you mentioned the scout, because yes, sometimes if it was Tet Fiends, he actually would scout. But the cool thing that INSUP's been doing is he's just been creeping with the scout. So Hitman doesn't know. Even if it was Death Knight, he wouldn't see the Acolyte because INSUP would creep with it. So there's no real way for Hitman to know until he actually physically runs across the map and checks.
Getting the items he needs to start this early harassment. Has the salves, has the speed scroll, and the Ring of Todd all in the inventory. He's heading on over. Figure out what INSUP's up to.
Yeah, he might have to stop by the marketplace and exchange that for something a little bit prettier. INSUP might not be too sad about the Scroll to Beast. That could be used maybe for a hit into the main base. INSUP's actually teching. Interesting. And he's going to go around the map. Maybe with that Scroll to Beast and some summons, he could go... Maybe he pops it and just creeps the red? Use it for the red, this would be so sick. Yeah. Yeah, he does it. INSUP is the only one to actually do this before. He blew our minds in DreamHack maybe 2 seasons ago when he did this as his first camp against Hitman. Maybe it was second camp back then as well. But yeah, this is only INSUP I've seen do this before.
Hey, and like I said before, you got to pull all the tricks out of the bag, and he's certainly doing so. Hitman might be a little baffled when he sees Cloak of Flames on the level 2 Criplord. Knows where that comes from.
Yeah, INSUP's lost, I believe, 2 ghouls to this. You imagine if INSUP actually was expanding here, too. This would be pretty good, because Hitman's at the complete opposite end of the map, and then what INSUP could do is sell the Cloak of Flames. And Hitman might not know, but Hitman has to know something's up now that he goes to the bottom of the map. He might still think Death Knight, because this is a stage where INSUP could just be at his expansion if it was Death Knight as well.
The mind game's going both directions here. Neither player, I believe, has ran into the other yet. They're still operating blind with no knowledge. Both players just continuing on forward. Criplord gets that level 3 he's looking for. Blade Master soon going to get it as well.
Yeah, both players getting kind of awful items. Slippers are nice for the Blade Master, and the Replenishment Potion is decent for the Criplord. Other than that, just terrible items across the board. INSUP almost completely out of mana, so if he wanted to go into the main base and maybe go for some burrow kills, that wouldn't be a possibility any longer. And wards are used for Hitman. He sees the tech, but he still hasn't seen the hero until right now.
Finally, some knowledge. He also sees the Cloak of Flames, so not able to sell that in time. Hitman has the knowledge, also going up to the red camp, checking it out, sees it with the Blade Master, confirms it. Level 4 granted to the Criplord, who is just power creeping this top side of Northern Isles.
Ridiculous. Yeah, level 4 at 5 minutes into the game. This might be the only creep route in the game that allows you to do that. It's pretty crazy. Blade, though, is level 3 himself, and he's going to be able to find probably at least 2, if not 3 ghouls right here.
I'd have to say pretty strong early game from INSUP here. Level 4, looking pretty nice. Tier 3 on the way. Death Knight also in production. You can just avoid some of these unit kills from the Blade Master. It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
And a cancel. It's a little setback.
The difficult thing for INSUP at this stage is that all the creep camps that he would love to creep on the Death Knight are kind of gone. He's going to have to just creep kind of 3 greens. There's no way Hitman's going to allow him to get his lab, so he's going to have to just slowly creep the Death Knight up to 2.5 off green camps. Well, the Shadow Hunter is already level 2. It was revealed somehow. Oh, with the crystal ball that I suppose he got somewhere. Forget where. I guess at the expansion. Oh, the beetles. Oh my god.
Town is under siege.
Feels me a little bit annoyed at the Shadow Hunter here.
Almost another cancel. Needs to keep an eye on that. Need to get that slaughterhouse up if you're INSUP. Need those statues. Rolling, healing, and mana regen. So important in the mid game of the undead. Beetle's going to harass Hitman's main base.
The reinforce will soon be done, and the peons aren't too anxious to mine lumber, so they're going to be able to defend that quite easily. The Shadow Hunter, on the contrary, though, is quite anxious to get level 3. Already has a push to greater mana, is going to creep the Scorpions to get close to 3, if not exactly there. And the Blade continues to be very annoying. Going to force some repair here eventually, but he's going to go for the Creep Jack instead.
And Blade Master doing what he does best. Following the undead around, making his life miserable when it comes to creeping and getting those critical hero levels. Also forcing INSUP back to his main base several times to defend his slaughterhouse. There's finally a reveal popped on the Blade Master. Gonna be able to keep an eye on for a little bit.
Yeah, one of those 3 green camps is gone now, and that's only 44 experience on the Death Knight. So the Death Knight's gonna have to venture far out of his base, maybe to the marketplace or the shop or the lab, just to try to get even level 2 at this stage. And the Shadow Hunter is already 2.9 himself, so very soon this is going to be a dicey situation for INSUP.
INSUP taking down the marketplace. Unfortunately, can't see if there's any good items in there.
A player's forces are under
Have a
attack.
couple nice items in there. We'll see if INSUP wants to purchase any. Meanwhile, going to get that Shadow Hunter up to level 3 like you had mentioned. That level 2 heal wave going to be really strong in this next fight.
Yeah, Book of the Dead, in any other case it would be very useful, but there's already Spirit Walkers with Adept on the field. Hitman countering the Crypt Lord in style with those Torn Totem units, and the Death Knight finally gets level 2. But no sooner does he get that than he's forced to Town Portal away, and now Hitman probably going to take the shop.
Yeah, wasted no time, TP'd out immediately. Also saved the ghouls, so nice attention to detail there from INSUP. Unfortunately, the shop and the items going to Hitman. Bought the dust, bought the potion of invulnerability.
Oh my god, I just realized the Torn Chieftain double parry up and Ring of Protection. Really tanky boy there. So bad items turn into good items for the TC at least.
Yeah, and with some heal waves behind that, the effective health of this Torn Chieftain is just through the roof right now.
For sure, even with the Lionhorn as well behind that for some more armor. Gonna be crazy. The map almost crept out. There is a red and a lab and a green left over. So the fight is most likely going to be over this red camp. Hitman actually going up, a slight mistake. He doesn't realize everything is crept out up there.
And this might be the advantage INSUP needs to get ahead, get this red camp down here, and claim both red camps on the map. Would be a very nice item advantage for INSUP.
Is Hitman... I think Hitman's smoking a little reefer today. He forgot the expansion was crept up here. He scouted this earlier. Victor, you scouted this like 5 minutes ago, bro. What's going on, man?
He saw the Colloquial Flames. He even sent the Blade Master to check it out
doing?
also.
What is he doing? All right, Blade trying to go for the Creep Jack. The Orc army will settle for the lab, but INSUP might be able to get this Reaver here and get this second red camp, as he pointed out.
Master just hanging on by. There's the reveal popped, forcing the Blade Master to back off slightly.
Well, Blade doesn't have a timing, and the item will go to INSUP. Helm of Valor. Not really that useful, but the experience is the important part as the Death Knight almost gets level 3. But there's not enough creeps on the map for him to actually get it. He's got to take a fight to get it.
Yeah, and when will that fight happen is really the question. Both players closing in on one another. They must know now. Doesn't matter how much reefer you've been smoking, you gotta know all the creep camps have been taken, and now it's time to fight.
And iNSUP with a 7 supply advantage. Heroes pretty even, but Hitman with a slight edge in that. Decent Impale to start things off. Is there a heal scroll? There is a single heal scroll. 2 destroyers is a pretty good counter to this army, but the Stomp is a pretty good counter to the entire undead army. As 1 walker falls, 1 destroyer about to fall. iNSUP with kind of a weird positioning, though.
iNSUP with the head count lead still. Nice war stop and a really nice Impale sending Hitman's army for a ride there. Up and down they go. Blade Master continuing to chip away at the destroyers. Each destroyer that falls is a really big setback for iNSUP.
That Book of the Dead in the back is nice because there is a walker, but the walker does not have a disenchant. Currently, the Impale is incredible. There's almost 1 more even. The walker goes to Ethereal, but Nova solves that problem for iNSUP, and 51 versus 48 at the end of the day. So Hitman actually gets a better swing in supply, but he's going to be forced to run away, at least for now. The Death Knight's still not level 3, even if he was. No mana for the coils.
Just forced on for the Torn Chieftain. Blade Master continuing to focus on those statues. Another nice Impale onto the army of Hitman. Now focusing down the Torn Chieftain, trying to whittle him down, but heal wave just in time. Able to
my God.
secure the kill, and iNSUP. Wow, Hitman pulls out his Nimbus 2000, sweeps the competition. And we're done for today. Hitman takes it 3-0.
Yeah, 222 crit to finish off game 3, and Hitman has now won 2 in a row. He's continuing his streak from scratch after losing to Hunter, I think, about 4 or 5 weeks ago. So he's looking to be in good shape to start up his streak and try to beat it yet again. But for now, that'll be all. That'll be all. iNSUP with an interesting strategy in game 3, but definitely Hitman more than prepared for this. This is the second time he's had to face it, so he definitely knew what to do this time around.
Yeah, really good series. And again, back-to-back weeks. I don't believe Hitman dropped a map all tournament, and he didn't drop map last tournament. So
yeah,
sweeping 2 weeks back-to-back. Hitman looking like he is in true form, ready for DreamHack this year.
Yeah, pretty good. Hitman beating Raven, Sword Puppy, Fish, and eventually iNSUP, like you say, not dropping a map. iNSUP, though, did manage to defeat Soin, which is nothing to shake your nose at. Quite a good win in the semifinal, and iNSUP also gets the crucial 5 EPT points, which actually for him is quite a big deal because he's in the running to go to the offline event at the end of the year. So every EPT point matters for him to keep him in the running to go to the LAN. But that's it. That's all, man. That was fun. It was it was a sweep. It was a sweep, but that was entertaining grand finals for sure.
Absolutely. A lot of great matchups tonight. We had a lot of heavy hitters in there, and every Monday, if you have what it takes, please get in there. I'd love to cast some of your games and keep these series as entertaining and high caliber as possible.